first match of World Cup 2026 is over, and after months of waiting, we finally got our first answers. Mexico wins. South Africa struggles. Red cards everywhere. A packed Azteca Stadium, and a performance that has football fans asking one huge question. Is Mexico actually stronger than we thought? Or was South Africa simply not ready for the biggest stage in football? Let's break down everything that happened in the opening match of World Cup 2026.
The perfect start. There is no better way to start a World Cup than winning the opening match. Mexico entered the tournament carrying the hopes of an entire nation. The pressure was enormous. Millions of fans expected victory. And from the very beginning, Mexico looked determined to deliver. The atmosphere inside the Azteca Stadium was electric. Every touch, every tackle, every attack, the crowd reacted to everything. Mexico looked comfortable from the opening whistle. Their passing was sharp, their movement was aggressive, and South Africa immediately found themselves under pressure. Then came the breakthrough. Only 9 minutes into the match, Julián Quiñones found the back of the net. The stadium exploded. The first goal of World Cup 2026 belonged to Mexico. And from that moment forward, the entire game changed. Quiñones strikes first. Scoring the first goal of a World Cup is something football fans remember forever. And Julián Quiñones now owns that moment. The finish itself wasn't just important because it gave Mexico the lead. It completely changed the psychology of the match. South Africa suddenly had to chase the game. Mexico gained confidence. The crowd became louder, and every Mexican player looked more comfortable. Instead of protecting a draw, South Africa now needed to attack. That opened spaces, and Mexico began finding those spaces more and more often. The opening goal wasn't just a goal, it was a momentum shift, and it shaped the rest of the match. The game changes. If the first goal changed the momentum, the red cards completely changed the game. South Africa was already struggling. Then disaster struck. The first red card arrived in the second half. Suddenly, South Africa had only 10 players. Mexico immediately gained more control. Possession became easier, attacks became more frequent, and the pressure kept building. As if that wasn't enough, another red card arrived later in the match. Now, South Africa were down to 9 men. At that point, survival became their only objective. The game was effectively over. Mexico didn't need to take risks. They simply needed to stay calm and finish the job. And that's exactly what they did.
Raúl Jiménez finishes it. Every World Cup needs veteran heroes, and Raúl Jiménez delivered one of the first big moments of this tournament. His goal in the 67th minute effectively ended the contest. It wasn't just another goal. It was his first World Cup goal despite appearing in multiple tournaments. The celebration showed exactly how much the moment meant to him. Mexico now had a 2-goal advantage. The fans could finally relax. The players could finally breathe. And the opening victory was almost secured. For a player who has experienced injuries, setbacks, and challenges throughout his career, it was a beautiful moment.
Should Mexico fans be excited? This is where things become interesting. Yes, Mexico won. Yes, Mexico kept a clean sheet. Yes, Mexico earned 3 points. But should Mexico fans already start dreaming about a deep World Cup run? Maybe. Maybe not. The scoreline looks convincing, but South Africa made life easier for Mexico with the red cards. Against stronger opponents like South Korea or Czechia, Mexico will face much bigger tests. Their finishing still needs improvement. Their decision-making in the final third can still be sharper. And stronger teams will punish mistakes much more aggressively. Mexico deserves credit, but the real tests are still ahead. What went wrong for South Africa? For South Africa, this was a nightmare start. They struggled to keep possession, they struggled to create chances, and the disciplinary problems completely destroyed their hopes. Playing against the host nation is already difficult. Playing against the host nation with 10 players? Even harder. Playing with 9? Almost impossible. The good news for South Africa is that the tournament isn't over. Not even close. With the expanded World Cup format, there is still time to recover. But they must improve quickly, because another performance like this could end their tournament before it truly begins.
So that's it. The first match of World Cup 2026 is officially in the books. Mexico wins 2-0. The Azteca celebrates. South Africa leaves with serious questions. But now comes the biggest question of all. Was this the beginning of a special World Cup run for Mexico? Or will tougher opponents expose weaknesses that we didn't see tonight? Let me know your prediction in the comments. And tell me, after watching this performance, how far can Mexico really go in World Cup 2026?